virtue, the best way by which to accumulate enormous amount of virtue and the merit within the short span of time is rejoice in the virtues of all the beings. Third line says, I rejoice in the virtues of all the beings. Okay, now the road is clear and the car has enough fuel. What kind of journey are you going to undertake? Well, I'm going to undertake the journey of the Buddhahood. Journey towards full awakening Buddhahood for the benefit of all human sentient beings. The fourth line says, I hold the precious Buddha in my heart. Okay, let's say this whole 103 times. And all sentient beings joining you and all the Buddhas and Bodhisattvas with great excitement and joy, leaving everything behind, has come to attend to what you're doing here. I go for refuge to the triple gem. I confess the negativities individually. I rejoice in the virtues of all the beings. I hold the precious Buddha in my heart. I go for refuge to the triple gem. I confess the negativities individually. I rejoice in the virtues of all the beings. I hold the precious Buddha in my heart. I go for refuge to the triple gem. I confess the negativities individually. I rejoice in the virtues of all the beings. I hold the precious Buddha in my heart. Okay, the next two stanzas, the actual ceremony by invoking Gurus, Buddhas and Bodhisattvas. The first stanzas pertain to the Buddhas, how that, for example, the Buddha Shakyamuni, all the Buddhas, including Buddha Shakyamuni, how they succeeded in becoming such an enlightened being to benefit all the sentient beings. It's amazing, this is what I like to do. But how come that he's able to do that? Yes, he's able to do that for two reasons. The first, he made a very strong commitment to become Buddha for the benefit of all sentient beings. Very strong, the motivation of the Bodhicitta commitment. And next, the second, to materialize this aspiration of the Bodhicitta, he actually engaged in the Bodhisattva practices, such as the 6 perfections and the 10 perfections. So this is how he did. I will also follow his footsteps. Also generate very strong Bodhicitta commitment, and to materialize this aspiration, I will also engage in Bodhisattva activities, 6 perfections, the 4 perfections. Okay. Wholeheartedly say this together. Gurus, Buddhas and Bodhisattvas, please pay heed to me. Just as previous Buddhas have generated the mind of Bodhicitta, and just as they successively dwell in the Bodhisattva practices, likewise for the benefit of all sentient beings, I'll generate the mind of Bodhicitta, and likewise shall I too successively follow the Bodhisattva practices. Gurus, Buddhas and Bodhisattvas, please pay heed to me. Just as previous Buddhas have generated the mind of Bodhicitta, and just as they successively dwell in the Bodhisattva practices, likewise for the benefit of all sentient beings, I'll generate the mind of Bodhicitta, and likewise shall I too successively follow the Bodhisattva practices. Gurus, Buddhas and Bodhisattvas, please pay heed to me. Just as previous Buddhas have generated the mind of Bodhicitta, and just as they successfully dwell in the Bodhisattva practices, likewise for the benefit of all sentient beings, I'll generate the mind of Bodhicitta, and likewise shall I too successfully to follow the Bodhisattva practices. We can just feel the joy, immense, intense joy over having received this aspirant Bodhisattva vow. Okay, from today on, the commitment, the maximum commitment is that I'll try my best to be as beneficial as helpful to other people, if not, and kind towards other people, if not, at least I will not harm others. Okay, Buddhas and Bodhisattvas, they are so happy, could not believe what is happening today. Like the parents, they feel so proud. So the two parents always receiving complaints from the school teacher, school principal, and today the school principal comes to congratulate the mother. You as the mother, your mother could not believe what is happening today. Why the school principal is congratulating me? Of course, your daughter, your son, two of them are appointed, selected as the best students, unanimously selected as best students of the year of the school. You couldn't believe for all these many years of receiving complaints of the school, from the school of your daughter and son. You couldn't believe the mother could not control her tears out of joy. This is exactly what is happening to all Buddhas and Bodhisattvas since time immemorial till now. Till now we have been only bringing embarrassments, sadness to Buddhas and Bodhisattvas, while they always aspired They always want that we do something good so that we will be freed from suffering, that we have the maximum happiness. But on the contrary, we always do something wrong to plunge ourselves into miseries. And today they see that there's something very different. A miracle is happening today. This is what they are seeing today. They are so happy to see what we've done. And this happiness and the pride they feel invoke the Vajramuni at their hearts, in the full flesh form, to multiply infinite number of times. In mirage like rain shower, these replicas of Vajramuni from the Buddhas and Bodhisattvas descend to merge with the one that they visualize at their heart, thereby stabilizing, becoming non-dual and blessed. Likewise, all these replicas of Vajramuni in infinite numbers, they descend to merge with the one that you visualize at the heart of your mother, at the heart of your father, at the heart of each one of your children, each one of the sentient beings, everyone, leaving none aside, everyone, including insects, the spirits, hungry ghosts, hell beings, the gods and goddesses, human beings, everyone in this universe. Now the Vajramuni, the heart which you have given, is being blessed. They are being blessed by the Vajramuni of all the Buddhas and Bodhisattvas. It's amazing. Amazing. Thus far we have been always creating problems on the sentient beings. As a result, we are suffering terribly. Now you are doing something so great which you have never thought of doing, forget about doing, even thought of doing. Today you have done it. It's amazing. This is the greatest gift that you can possibly think of giving to all the sentient beings, and today you did it. And this is the greatest offering that you can think of making to all Buddhas and Bodhisattvas, and today you did it. Today you offered it. The Buddhas and Bodhisattvas, they don't want anything from you. They simply want to make sure that you do something which is of greatest meaning, and that is greatest offering to them. And today you did it. They're so happy, proud of you. And you are being so wise. You are being so wisely kind to yourself. You have extracted the greatest meaning out of life. Today what you did is the greatest meaning, and today you did it. It's amazing. And let us not forget that all this happened, this wonderful, the miracle is happening, all because of the kindness of the Buddhas and Bodhisattvas, all the Buddhas and Bodhisattvas, along with all the sentient beings. Let us slowly start to make 3 prostrations as a gesture of thanking them, thank all the Buddhas and Bodhisattvas. Please take your seats. Okay, page 51. So this very precious practice, how to connect with this practice once more in the future lifetimes, And in order to connect, then pursue through this journey, very precious journey, incessantly till we achieve the state of the Buddhahood. For that matter, making a very strong prayer and feeling the joy, rejoicing over what you have done. Okay, so making a very strong prayer will guarantee that we will connect with this teaching, the practice in the future lives, and then feeling joy over this, having generated bodhicitta and the wisdom of emptiness, will make us very freely flow and rigorously engage in this practice to achieve Buddhahood for the benefit of all temporal sentient beings. Okay, so let's turn to page 51. Throughout my future lifetimes, may I always be guided by the compassionate Buddha and be able to hold the two precious bodhicittas even at the cost of my life. Throughout my future lifetimes, may I always be guided by the compassionate Buddha and be able to uphold the two precious bodhicittas even at the cost of my life. Throughout my future lifetimes, may I always be guided by the compassionate Buddha and be able to uphold the two precious bodhicittas even at the cost of my life. In order to further increase this bodhicitta from now on, those with discernment who have lucidly seized and awakened the mind of bodhicitta in this way should highly praise in the following manner. Today, having well obtained this human existence, I've been born in the family of the Buddha and now one of the Buddha's children. Thus, whatever actions I do from now on must be in accord with the family. Never shall I disgrace or pollute this noble and unsullied race. Just like a blind man discovering a jewel of a heap of rubbish, likewise by some coincidence an awakening mind has been born within me. It is the supreme ambrosia that overcomes the sovereignty of death. It is the inexhaustible treasure that eliminates all poverty in the world. It is the supreme medicine that quells the world's disease. It is the tree that shelters all beings wandering and tired on the path of conditioned existence. It is the universal bridge that leads to freedom from unhappy states of birth. It is the dawning morn of the mind that dispels the torment of disturbing conceptions. It is the great sun that finally removes the misty ignorance of the world. It is the quintessential butter from the churning of the milk of Dharma. For all those guests traveling on the path of conditioned existence who wish to experience abundance of happiness, this will satisfy them with joy and actually place them in supreme bliss. Today, in the presence of all the protectors, I invite the world to be guests at a festival of temporary and ultimate delight. May gods, demigods, and all be joyful. Okay, page 47. to reinforce the profound compassion. Okay. We should think about the emptiness, how everything is coming from the subject, nothing really exists from the object. The way we see this object as a water with respect to the subject, which is the conventional analysis. And then with respect to ultimate analysis, the water doesn't make any sense. So which means that what we see there is that they're all coming from our mind, coming from the subject. Independent of the subject from the object, there's nothing really there. If this is what we realize, then we realize that you realize that the dream, you wake up, you see that the dream, the very scary dream was all coming from our mind. The moment you realize that, you wake up, you realize it's coming from the mind, not really from the object, the fear dissolves. Likewise, you realizing after studying emptiness for the last 6 days, you realize that the things are all just coming from rejection of one's own mind. Independent of the rejection of one's mind from the object, is not really there. The moment you realize that you see that, what a joy for me to see that now there's no room for the fears. Then seeing the sentient beings, how they're suffering, failing to see this reality of the emptiness of objectivity. They suffer terribly. They believe what the dream is true. The dream-like phenomenon is so truly existent, so objectively real. And then they involuntarily react to this, and then continuously engage negative karmas, and then suffer terribly. The suffering simply perpetuates. Okay, so in the end, then you make a very strong prayer, the way Bodhisattva chanted they were made, that how good would it be that with the power of my accumulation merit, when will I ever come to reveal this emptiness to all the sentient beings so that they wake up from the sleep of ignorance, and that no factor can really affect the peace of their mind, and the peace of mind is forever the vibrant, and that they achieve the infinite happiness. Okay, let us, with this mind, let's read this. Therefore, sentient beings resemble dreams. Upon analysis, they are like plantain trees, whether they release or not from sorrow. In the ultimate sense, there is no distinction. What is there to gain and what is there to lose with things that are empty of true existence in this way? Who is there to pay me respect and who is there to abuse? From what are pleasure and pain derived? What is there to be happy or unhappy about? When one searches for the ultimate nature, who is there to crave and what is there to crave for? Upon analysis, this world of living beings is found to have no true existence. Therefore, who can die here? What is there to come and what has been? Who are friends and who are relatives? O you who are investigating reality, please recognize, as I've done, that all is just like space. Those who wish to be happy are greatly disturbed by the cause for conflict, and enjoyed by the cause for pleasure. But not finding happiness, they suffer, and in order to find it, they exert themselves, and argue with others, and cut and stab one another. Even though they repeatedly come to happy existences and exist much pleasure there, upon dying they fall for a long time into the unbearable suffering lower realms. Within conditioned existence, the chasms of suffering are many, and the liberating comprehension of the ultimate truth is rare. And furthermore, the apprehension of true existence and the understanding of emptiness mutually contradict one another. Yet if while in conditioned existence one does not realize this ultimate truth, one will continue to experience a limitless ocean of misery, unbearable and beyond analogy. Likewise, through not having realized emptiness, I have little strength for virtue. And one's human life of leisure and endowment is indeed very short. Also,
one is concerned with others and belief. One is injured by others and continues his company with childish. Therefore, his life reads the classes with no meaning, and is very hard to find reality.
In this state, where is there the means to reverse this beginningless habit of grasping at true existence? Furthermore, devils are exerting themselves to cast us into vast unfortunate realms. There are many mistaken paths, and it is hard to resolve doubts about the perfect way. It will be hard to find the leisure of human life again, and extremely difficult to find the presence of the Buddhas. It is hard to forsake the flood of afflictions. Allah's sentient beings will continue to suffer. Oh, indeed, it is worth feeling sorrow for those that drift in the river of pain, who, although they experience great misery, are unaware of the suffering they go through. For example, some ascetics wash them again and again, and others repeatedly enter the fire, but although they assume themselves as being happy. Similarly, those who mistake their suffering for joy and live as though there are no aging or death, first of all killed by the Lord of Death, and then experience unbearable misery of falling into lower realms. When shall I be able to extinguish the pains of those tormented by the fires of suffering? With the rain of my accumulated happiness that has sprung from the clouds of my merits, and by having in a manner of not objectifying existence, intensely will I gather the accumulation of merit. When will I be able to reveal emptiness to those who are wretched and sad by the view of true existence? Okay, Mariella, we will do that dedication, and then the Song of Hymn will take one of the next session.
Oh,
okay. Yeah. Okay, dedication prayer, page 52. I dedicated merit thus gathered towards the realization of deeds in their prayers, our Bodhas and Bodhisattvas of the 3 times, and to the upholding of the doctrine and scripture and insight. May I know all lives through the force of this merit, never separate from the 4 wheels of the Mahayana vehicle, and accomplish all the stages of the path, renunciation, bodhicitta, perfect way in the 2 stages. From my 2 collections, vast the space that I have amassed, from working with effort its great length of time, may I become the chief leading Buddha for all those whose minds wisdom is blinded by ignorance.
Om Muni Muni Maha Muni Swaha. 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 Om Mani Padme Hum, 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 Om Mani Padme Hum. Om Mani Padme Hum, Om Arabazanadi, Om Arabazanadi, Om Arabazanadi, Om Arabazanadi, Om Arabazanadi, Om Arabazanadi, Om Arabazanadi. Om Arabazanadi, Om Arabazanadi, Om Arabazanadi, Om Arabazanadi, Om Arabazanadi. Om Arabazana Didi 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 Om Arabazana Dim Deata Om Begaze Begaze Ma Begaze Begaze Raza Samunga de Swaha Deata Om Begaze 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 Raza Samunga de Swaha Deata Om Begaze Begaze Maha Begaze Begaze Raza Samunga de Swaha Deata Om Begaze Begaze Maha Begaze Begaze Raza Samunga de Swaha Deata Om Begaze Begaze Maha Begaze Raza Samunga de Swaha Deata Om Gade Gade Paragade Parasamgade Bodhi Swaha Dhyata Om Gate Gate Paragate Parasamgate Bodhi Swaha Dhyata Om Gate Gate Paragate Parasamgate Bodhi Swaha Dhyata Om Gate Gate Paragate Parasamgate Bodhi Swaha. Okay, 2 prostrations.